dear friends, and welcome to Life of Love. I'm so happy to have you here today. I have a special guest. He is a world traveler, an author, best-selling author, and just a delight. I'm so excited and honored that he can spend some time with us today. His name is Chancellor Jackson, and he's a fellow Georgian. He lives in a town where I first moved when I moved to Georgia back in the 90s. So it's really excited to, we're connecting digitally, but we're not that far away. So welcome, Chancellor. Thanks for being on Life of Love.
Blessings and balance to you, Julie. Blessings and balance to everyone that's tuning in right now. Appreciate you for having me.
All right, Chancellor. So would you like to share a little bit about your background and how you came to write your best-selling book, or just anything to help my audience get a better feel for what brought us together, the synchronicity of this connection?
For sure. Chancellor K. Jackson is the name. Played football vast majority of my life, so that definitely played a huge factor in the developmental piece of just me as an individual, my character, skill sets, and of course my overall spirit. So it definitely is something that I embodied to the fullest. I was able to play all throughout high school and was fortunate to play D1 football down at Stetson University for 4 years, where I obtained my bachelor's degree in communication and media studies. After I graduated from Stetson, I landed my first job teaching English to children. So I went out there to China for a little bit, and China was absolutely the best experience I've ever had, by far. I encourage everybody to travel for sure, but if you can live abroad someplace else, I highly recommend it. And go someplace you've always been interested in. You just see how much you'll learn about yourself, and then just life in general, because life is drastically different everywhere we go, based on just, for example, me and you know what I'm saying? You from the Smyrnaville, but you live in Cummings, and those are two different places, but yet they ain't nothing but down the road from each other. So we take it from a bigger aspect. Now we comparing Georgia to California, Georgia to Chicago, Georgia to New Hampshire. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's drastically different, you know what I'm saying, between these places, and everywhere in between is drastically different. So now we take it to a global standpoint, comparing Atlanta to Ghana, Atlanta to Saudi Arabia, Atlanta to Brazil, drastically different. And everywhere in between is drastically different. So it's like exposing yourself to all these differences within the world helps piece together how to go about living life, because there's no set way. You know what I'm saying? People claim to be, this is how you're supposed to do this life thing. This is how you're supposed to. No, these group of people up here say, no, everywhere you go, everybody lives life drastically different. So that's why traveling is just so important. You make sense out of life, you know what I'm saying, yourself, versus allowing somebody else to spoon feed you information, or you just going based off of what somebody else got to say. To see it for yourself. So definitely travel abroad, y'all. Get out there, see the world. It's huge. China was absolutely amazing. People were, I'm talking about, best customer service I've ever received, hands down. I've never received any form of customer service like I experienced in China. They go above and beyond, and they don't accept tips. That's just them doing their job. I enjoy working with the kids, teaching. Definitely ain't expect to be teaching, especially coming from a football background, playing football. Oh, yeah. I got to go from being a student to actually running and leading a classroom. Oh, yeah, that was a 360 right there. But I definitely found a natural talent in it, and I enjoy working with the kids. I was mainly working with kids as young as 3 years old, all the way up to 14, but I was mainly working with the elementary school age range. So most of our lessons were nothing but games to keep them engaged. So we was lit in class almost every day, for sure. Exploring Beijing, of course. I'm from Atlanta. It's a different world, essentially. So everything is going to be an adventure. It's even to the smallest and simplest tasks. Going to the bank. You would think that'll be a walk in the park, but it is not. You know what I'm saying? You don't look like these people. You don't speak the language. It's gonna be a journey for sure. Like the smallest things is gonna be a journey. But I had a blast. I had a blast for sure. And then I got locked up out there halfway through my trip. Got locked up and was sentenced. Well, was served 14 days in a Beijing penitentiary. Upon my arrest, no information was given to me as far as how the process works, how the jail operates, you know what I'm saying, how long I'm going to be in the situation. I had no information. I'm just here to tell y'all I did 14 days, and as you read my book, you don't know what's going on. You just hanging on the hope and faith that things play out in your favor. So once I was released and deported from the country, came back to America, and I'm back to square one all over again. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? We done had a little adversity, but adversity introduces a man to himself. So, Chancellor, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna bounce back from this? See where your resiliency lies. You know what I'm saying? So, knew with me having experience teaching on the other side of the world, that was going to open up doors. So I was like, we're going to use this to our advantage for sure. So I'm still in education. Fell into coaching football. Just, hey, you trying to coach? Yeah, I ain't opposed to it. I ain't got nothing else going on. Why not? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going into year 5 coaching high school football. Also coach at-risk teens in my county, in Cobb County. So kids that got arrested for drugs or arrested for doing just hot stuff, we use 14 days in Beijing as a part of our lessons to pull our life skills from. So do that as well. I'm also a coach to aspiring authors. So anybody out there that has a story or a concept or just an idea but don't know how to go about putting it on paper, tap in with your boy. I can walk you through that process. Or say you've written a whole book but don't know how to go about publishing it. I can walk you through that process as well. So coaching people in that field, and also I own my own publishing company, which my service and all my books are published through. And I have a car rental service, a short-term car rental service. So just running a couple marathons, just trying to get established, man. That's just it, for real. Hustling and motivated.
I love it. There's so much to unpack there. I'm not like, I know that, when you play football, I watch a lot of football on the weekends, and, my brothers both played, and I know it's grueling. I mean, physically, mentally, and then, and you get penalties, right? You get penalties and you're accountable, and you went over to Beijing and you got a penalty and you're accountable. And I believe that sport teaches us to bounce back. It teaches us resiliency, and it's a gift, right? I mean, our bodies are a gift, and we can show up and shine our soul through those bodies. And I love that you're giving back to the community, and that idea that the youth can also perpetuate in sport and strength and courage. And it takes a lot of courage to do your best, and be accountable to that. And now you're building businesses, you're building a life, and back home. But to me, when I travel, it's like I can look at the world through another culture's eyes, or even when I go to someone else's house, I just sit and observe. And I'm like, I never thought about doing it that way. I never thought about looking at it that way, but I just adore that perspective. And it sounds like you sort of picked up on that when you were over in Asia. I know your time got cut short, but what was one of the biggest things? I mean, you talked about customer service and just you're doing it because it's your job. You've ownership. Do you think, was that a major theme that you came back with? Was that ownership of how you show up, and it's not based on what your brother did or your father did, or, what society says you should do or not do. It's just based on what your integrity says? Or what's your thought on it?
I just feel like my biggest takeaway from the whole journey in China was me finding myself. It was a journey of me just re-identify myself. Once football came to an end, that was a rude awakening. Here I am, 21 years old. 22 years old. Yeah, 21. My football career has just ended, and it's, halfway through my senior year, I'm like, bro, I don't know what the hell I'm finna do next. Chancellor, who are you? We don't know what's next. What do you want out of life? Who do you aspire to be? What do you aspire to be? What do you even like to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your purpose? You know what I'm saying? So, I couldn't find none of that.
They pulled your playbook. Your playbook was pulled.
No, facts. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody took Chancellor's playbook, and you had to write your own.
No, factual. And I knew I had to start somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Especially having nowhere to start, you know what I mean? So just applying for jobs mainly at first, and I was mainly applying for corporate positions. And I'm landing interviews, but I'm not landing no position. I did this whole process for 8 months. I done graduated. I'm back home. I'm still like, with short end of the stick, like, damn, bro, I did everything quote unquote textbook way. And you know what I'm saying? I'm still sitting here with my hand out like, damn, bro, what's going on? Ain't nobody trying to mess with me. But I knew that everything that didn't fall through it didn't fall through for a reason. And it was something better in store. And I knew to keep pushing and keep searching, because what's for you, you know what I'm saying, is going to find you. And me switching up my job searching process, like, okay, clearly corporate ain't for me. Let me try a different approach. Let me try a different field. And with me doing that, that's when I came across the opportunity to teach English in China. And then I applied and went through that whole process. But this is the first job to finally tell me yes after 8 months of, you know what I'm saying, just trial and error. And China was always a place I've been fond of traveling. In the introduction to my book, I flash back to a table conversation I'm having with my family. My mom asked my brother and I, what's 3 places in the world y'all want to go? And I make sure that we go. And I instantly said, China. And she looked at me like, why China? You know what I'm saying? All places, you know what I'm saying? Why there? And the only logical reason I had at that young age was that's where everything is made. You know what I'm saying? You look at the back of any product and say, where? Made in China. So I want to go to the land where everything is made. So little did I know that table conversation would not only be a catalyst to change for me, but you know what I'm saying, a key example of manifestation at its finest. You know what I'm saying? Just my mother, you know what I'm saying, wanting us to voice our wants and needs out and say them out loud, you know what I'm saying, affirmations. So it came full circle, you know what I'm saying, about 13 years later. And so I was excited to go, and I knew I was going to learn a lot and grow a lot from the experience. I had no clue where I was going to be because I was supposed to do a year. I'm like, once this year is up, ain't no telling where I'm going to be, who I'm going to be, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited for the journey. Now, did I plan for it to go the way it went? Absolutely not. But, you know what I mean? Like I said, it took all of that. It took all that transpired for me to be in the position I am right now.
Right. And you're just growing. You have this platform and you see how hard everyone works. It's not easy to find your path.
You know me. It's a marathon. So, we call this thing the marathon. We're going to see.
I was just talking about that with a friend about how, you know, it's like you said, that intention, your consciousness, your thoughts actually can materialize. And it even says 365 times in the Bible that God says, just ask. So every day it's okay to ask, you know, and that, you know, I work with the angels a lot, and that's a big thing in the angels. They can't come in to help us until we say, hey, I'm here and I need help. And they will come in, they'll guide you if you invite them in. So I love how your mom has instilled that in you. She knows in her soul level that that's an important thing to open up to abundance, you know. Moms.
Power of the tongue.
Power of the tongue. Yes, and everything creates. You know, no matter if you're thinking negative or positive, you're still creating. So that's what I try to tell people who are having a hard time. Just get to that gratitude, get to your resource, because there's chances. And Chancellor.
Help
Chancellor
me.
has Chancellor.
No, facts.
Sorry, that just came to me. So what is what's a reoccurring thing when you're coaching? Do you find like you're mentoring these kids to find their spark, so they're not like when they finish their football career, their identity's not all tied up into the sport? I know my kids play tennis, and they could easily have their whole identity with tennis, and then if they get injured, then they're like, what do we do? Like, we don't even have a pastime hardly, when you're so involved with a sport. So do you find yourself having that perspective where you're helping your athletes find things that drive them?
Yeah. Everybody that plays high school sports, especially football, wants to play at the next level. At least, you know what I'm saying? That's everybody's goal. Now, will everybody get the opportunity to play at the next level? Absolutely not. But if your T's is crossed, your I's is dotted, hey, it's going to happen for you. I wasn't recruited out of high school, you know what I'm saying? Had a bunch of offers. No. I got myself into Stetson. That happened because of me. My school wasn't marketing us or pushing us to bigger programs and nothing like that. I took that initiative. So I was able to get my foot in the door. Even once I got my foot in the door, I still had to work just to get to where I wanted to be at within the program. So me going along my journey and just accomplishing something that a lot of high school athletes want to accomplish. A lot of high school football players want to play Division I football. It's millions of high school football players. It's only a couple hundred D1 schools. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody is going to get that opportunity to play. But like I said, man, if it's something you really want to do, I can definitely assist you and guide you along the journey. And then if you just want to play college football, oh yeah, we can definitely get that. We can make that happen. That's easy. But once this sport comes to an end, I always tell my player, like, hey, boy, this is when the real test, that's when the real journey begins. This football shit comes to an end for everybody. Y'all like to compare yourselves based on who going where, who got the most clout in the, you know what I'm saying, the sport, or, you know what I'm saying, that's the only thing y'all got to weigh each other out. You know what I'm saying? Once this football shit come to the end, that's going to be the real test to see, you know what I'm saying, who is who. Because a lot of y'all going to fall. You know what I'm saying? Football going to come to the end, and a lot of y'all going to crash out versus trying to find yourself or trying to find a new identity. You know what I'm saying? You're going to fall into heaps of trouble. A lot, you know what I'm saying? Quite a few of y'all will. Some will go off and find other endeavors and be very successful. And some going to spend a long time trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like telling them to have a plan B and plan C, because I ain't had no plan B or no plan C. You know what I'm saying? It was plan A. Sometimes there's no point in having a plan B because it takes away from plan A. So it's the only plan.
Because then you have, that's your escape route, right? Like it's planting a seed of doubt, right?
Not me.
I see that.
I don't even tell them that. I'm like, shit, but this is what you want to do, this is what we're going to do. Now, if it ain't you, it won't work. If something ain't for you, it ain't going to work. So when it ever does come to the end, all right, now we just got to go back to the drawing board. And now you just got to think about, I'll be telling them, hey, take heed, find interests now. Find stuff that you're good in and that you enjoy doing. And get good at, you know what I'm saying, and spend time just as much on those things as you do on football. Because it might be those other endeavors that really, you know what I'm saying, put money in your pocket at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? With football, probably won't be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So just being that, you know what I'm saying, that support system and, you know what I'm saying, that guidance, and especially me, I just did it, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago. So it's like, yeah, they take more heed to, you know what I'm saying, me being a younger coach and stuff versus the older coaches we got. So yeah, just really just teaching them boys how to win, how to be resilient, how to face and handle adversity, embrace adversity. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, adversity strikes and they just tuck their tail between their legs and, you know what I'm saying, walk their head down like, nah, embrace adversity, bro. You going, my entire journey has been nothing but adversity. So, you know what I'm saying, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. For sure.
So So you're that contemporary mentor that they can say, okay, he's gone through this, and they can read your book and get some insight.
Tell me.
And if those kids, if those athletes read your book, they're serious. They've engaged with you. And
Me.
I don't know, have you considered that you're an activator, that you're there to plant little seeds of there's a bigger world.
I've been doing this. I've been doing this since I was a child. Naturally, you know what I'm saying? It's everything along my journey has perfected and fine-tuned me, for sure, but it's just me naturally, natural born leader, for sure.
I love that. And your family must be so proud.
Hey man, man, I still got a lot to prove, a lot more work to do.
Oh, you don't have to prove any. You just being here is proof that you're doing it.
Shit, I got a lot to prove. I got a lot to prove to myself. Most importantly, everything's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? But I always have high expectations for myself. My name is Chancellor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My name is prestigious within itself. So I always had high expectations for myself. I always set the goal high. And shit, I've been chipping away at it. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to accomplish a lot of great, great things within, you know what I'm saying, these 27 years I've been on this planet. And I'm just scratching the surface for real. So we still got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. We do. And that the humility and the compassion for everyone's journey. And, you do come from a place of love. Yeah. You really do. Yeah. Because you care and you want to show up and be your best. And that matters.
That's true.
Wow. So if you were going to share one inspirational person or one instance where you're just like, I'm never going to be the same. Besides being incarcerated in China and Beijing, but is there something that you want to share with the audience that, was a huge turning point that you're just like, can't even look back. It's just like forge forward. Chancellor's got a new day.
I gotta, I say 14. My entire journey has been filled with adversity. You know what I'm saying? My first love and first passion was football. I didn't start playing football until 13 years old. With that being said, most people have been playing football since they was 4 and 5. So I lacked a lot of developmental aspects of the game as far as just mentally and physically. You know what I'm saying? I lacked in those two severely. You know what I'm saying? So just learning how to play organized football, that was a task within itself. And then the physicality piece, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the weight room and nothing like that. So it took me about a year just to catch up to the speed of the game. But I caught up within that year and still had to just work my way up the ranks, you know what I'm saying, all the way up to varsity. And I ain't really get to start on varsity for real until my last year of high school, my senior year. And it's the same exact thing for me. So with that being said, and like I said, I wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. So I still wanted to play D1 football. Like, man, bro, how am I going to do that? I got to make it happen. I got myself in the Stetson. I had to work my way up. And I still ain't even played for real start until my senior year of college. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like this football thing was, everything was just given to me. It was easy. It was a cakewalk. Hell nah. I had to grind for everything I was able to accomplish with this game. Mm-hmm. And it ain't even finished. Like it didn't play out the way I wanted it to play out, but it was something that I always wanted to do. So I was pleased and content with that alone. Like, man, this is something you always wanted to do. Millions of people wanted to do, and you actually did it and finished. A lot of people was able to get here, but a lot of people ain't even finished. You finished, bro. So, hey, whatever is next in store, hey, I just know I already know it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a marathon because football was. Yeah, I had to. Whatever it is, it's not gonna be easy. You gonna have to get it out the mud, and it's been that ever since football came to an end. It's been exactly that. So, yeah, man, this is my whole life been like this. That's why I got this chip on my shoulder the way I do. I'm very humble. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Just cause nothing has been easy. Nothing has been easy. But that's why we call this thing the marathon. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit here and portray this ultimate poise like I've been had all this figured out. Nah, I battle every emotion. I battle every emotion behind what I'm getting after right now. And the only distinction quality between me, whoever else is going through this, already went through it, or is finna go through it, is that you're not gonna quit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. And to me, your main message is, advocate for yourself, show up for yourself, and then you're going to see the opportunity when it arises because you've put the intention out there, you've asked for it, and you're poised in the position to succeed. No matter how much work, you're just going to keep going. You're going to keep running that marathon. I hear you. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I do appreciate you sharing all this. It's you're authentic and you're strong and you're high spirited, and it's just a wonderful space to be in with you. So I do honor that. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
I just want to leave y'all with a message. And the message is from Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was a famous rapper, an entrepreneur from South Central Los Angeles, and has been a huge influence, on my life and just my journey. But the message goes, long-winded, running through this life like it was mine, never settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees on the path to my own self-destruction or success. But what's a mistake without the lesson? You see, the best teacher in life is your own experience. And none of us know who we are until we fail. They say every person is defined by their reaction to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you choose to do, homie, give your heart to it and stay strong.
Thank you. Thank you. That was lovely. Chancellor, that was just an amazing interview, and I appreciate every moment, and I can't wait to see all the ways you take off, and I hope we can stay in touch because this has been absolutely amazing.
For sure. It was a pleasure meeting you. I appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, you can go to my website and make any comments, suggestions, just share anything that's on your heart about any of the episodes. If you visit www.youneedapeptalk.com, you can find every episode and feel free to share. Your subscription to my podcast really matters, so if you can subscribe, share, go to Apple and rate my podcast, that really helps my listenership and gets my message out to as many people as possible. So I do appreciate that. And as always, enjoy each day, as each moment is a chance to create the life of your dreams. Take care.